Imagine this. You're scrolling through the Steam webpage trying to find you a good game to play with your buddies. And then you come across a game. A game that truly you can only describe as a gem. It's so good, but it's also just so weird. This is Maurice in the Predator's Nest Remake. Okay, so I'm not gonna beat around the bush when I say that this game is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, just look at the fucking player models. I mean, come on. They should really just tell you anything you need to know about the game. Anywho, me and some of my buddies found this game randomly while looking through the 2D fighters section of Steam. I don't really understand how this is a 2D fighting game either, but you go, I guess.
It's fine, bro.
Oh, the dinosaur! It's the dinosaur! Like I've already said, this game is really just weird, as the title says. But it's also, like, in terms of the actual game, it's pretty simple. Maurice in the Predator's Nest. Oh my god, it's just a stupid name. Maurice in the Predator's Nest is an asymmetrical survival horror game, similar to Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th the game, RIP. Before we actually pop into the gameplay, I want to take a look at the personalization menu. Because it's really just, it's my favorite part of the whole game, honestly. So, this is the menu where you choose your skins for your survivor and your predator. For survivor skins, we have such gems as Maurice, Maurice with a mustache, Yellow Maurice, Construction Maurice, and finally, Hunter Maurice. For the predators, we have absolute beautiful gems like Deer Guy, Dinosaur, 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 Dinosaur.
Shut your fucking mouth! No problem, John. Shut the fuck up, you!
Now, obviously, before we can actually play the game, we have to select single player or multiplayer. Obviously, we're gonna play multiplayer, so we set up a custom game, invite some people, and boom, we're gonna play Maurice in the Predator's Nest Remake. So, loading into the game, we see we have a couple things as Survivor. Knives and medkits counts, a flashlight, and thermal binoculars for some reason. The knives and medkits you can find around the map randomly. The flashlight and thermal binoculars have no battery life or anything also, so there isn't a consequence of you using either. Which is weird, because you'd think when you use the binoculars that there'd be some sort of slowness that you get, but there really isn't. Above the items is your goals. First, there's generators we have to get. We have to get 5 generators, just like Dead by Daylight. Then we have the access card and the gas canister. To escape as Maurice in this game, you need to first repair the 5 generators. Then, find the access card for a laboratory that spawns in a set location on each map. Then inside that lab will be the gas canister, which is your last item. When you have the gas cans, you must go to the boat, which is also in a set location on each map. And then bam, you've escaped from the predator. The disposable items, medkit and knife, are both used for survivability. You can use the knife to escape from the predator if they grab you, and you use the medkit to heal in case they hit you. Now I'd like to diverge from the gameplay for a moment to talk about the... So, looking at the Steam library page for this game, we can see it hasn't been updated since 2024. And if we take a look in-game over the little maps section, it says new map, so it can be assumed this new map got added pretty close to the last update. And one thing that I question is, why hasn't this game been updated in so long? For this, we're gonna have to go back in time onto YouTube, looking at old videos about the game. If we take a look, this game seemingly used to use actual player models that were just Kermit the Frog, instead of the current versions of Maurice that look similar but are not Kermit. I have no idea why they were changed, but it can be assumed that it was because of copyright issues or the game being mass reported on Steam for this exact reason. As to why the game hasn't been updated since then, I have an additional theory. I believe that after updating the game for a little bit, adding skins, a new map, and a new killer, and all that stuff, the developer just got sick of game development, because along with the game not being updated for a long time, they have not made another game since then. I believe the developer has probably just moved on in their life from making questionable Unity games on Steam, but what about the rest of the... Surprisingly enough for a strange game like this, the predators, have different abilities depending on which one you play. The deer man can place traps, and the dinosaur has this strange sensing ability. It lets you see where nearby Maurices are and where generators are. Both predators share the rest of their abilities, having a normal attack, a grab, and a roar, which gives them infinite stamina temporarily. On that note, unlike the Maurices, the predators have a stamina circle that appears in the middle of the screen. Now, these predators are not very balanced, power-wise. The dinosaur's league's better at actually catching Maurices, since its hitbox is way larger. For some reason, I could never tell why. The deer man, honestly, is pretty bad. It's been a very regular occurrence for me to get stuck in the map when I place a trap because of how it shifts your hitbox during the animation or whatever. Anyway, speaking of the... real quick, before we talk about the maps, I actually want to say I missed this. The deer man also has like a ginormous like super jump. I didn't mention this in the video, but it's something he can do. Okay, bye now. The game only has two maps, the Fern Camp and the Death Valley. They both only contain the same two game modes, which are co-op, which is just there's an AI predator that you guys are hiding from, and then PvP, which is where somebody else is the predator. Death Valley is usually the map I play on because it's larger, it has less obstacles, and I personally think it looks better. Any single time I've played on Fern Camp, we've died or I've glitched into something and gotten stuck without fail. Speaking of the... This is the last little tangent I want to go on in the video, because I guess it's more of a rant. This game is glitchy as all hell. Like, no sugarcoating it. I briefly talked about it earlier on in the video, about how I've regularly gotten stuck in walls, traps, trees, fucking storage containers. I gotten stuck in the boat. I don't know how that happened. This game is super weird about hitboxes, particularly when it comes to the deer man. Another glitch I encountered is when I got to the boat and got to the ready to escape screen, which is where when your teammates are still alive but you have made it to the boat, you are basically stuck as a spectator until they leave. I was in this screen waiting for my teammates to leave, and then they both died, and then what happened was I just got stuck in the boat, ready to leave, quote unquote, until the round ended by timer. The killer couldn't kill me because he can't kill you when you're in the screen already, right? So I was literally just stuck there watching as my friend playing as the deer man was trying to kill me to get the match over with. And even though this game being so glitchy is normally something I would find just so frustrating, which I kind of still do. When it comes to this game in particular, I don't know why, but I just find it so endearing. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, despite its flaws, odd history, questionable legality, I love this stupid game that I found. It's so much stupid fun and unintentionally hilarious. Me and my friends had an absolute blast playing it, and I would absolutely recommend it to anyone. Maurice and the Predator's Nest Remake. go check it out on Steam if you want to. It's free, and it's a great time to just sit down and play with your buddies for an hour or so and probably never touch again. But I want to thank you all for sitting through this. This is my first video essay-esque kind of video, and I do hope to make more of these in the future. So I hope you all stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for checking me out, and have a fantastic day.